Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to help you a little bit of a walkthrough through these new features in the Splice app. Masks and overlays and pretty awesome nifty features. Really cool and crafty you can get with these. So I've taken the title here and I've just added it to an overlay. And essentially depending on, which one, one's always going to be solid, so it'll always be on top. So in order for you to see it, you either use a mask or you set the opacity like I'm doing here, like a kind of cool intro where you see like something in the background and whatnot. So that's just messing with the opacity, because now in Splice app we're dealing with 2 timelines instead of 1. This has been the first update for multi-timeline, and we haven't really had this in the Splice app before. So yeah, the overlays go to the top, and you can take any clip and make it an overlay. Now, a mask is essentially a line, divider, or a shape that will cut out and change the opacity of, or the opaqueness or the transparency of the frame above it or below it. So essentially what I could do here is I could kind of blend it a bit, so I pull it out. So sometimes you don't want such a harsh cutoff. You actually want it to blend in. So that's why that gradient slider bar is perfect. So what I'm going to do for this clip is I'm going to try to stitch 2 clips together to be 2 complete different skateboarding tricks. So you can see here I got the 2 tricks now. One is an overlay and one is on the main timeline. And I'm trying to set it up where one kind of blends into the other without making it look like it's 2 different people. So on the left here we have the rail. Skateboarding rail is very large compared to the one on the right. So what we're going to have to do is line those up and stitch them together like it's kind of the same scene. And you see here I got pretty good at blending it. It almost looked real. But you're going to have to get crafty and witty and full of inspiration as you George Lucas your films. But if you notice here, what it did was my back is to the left and I land with my front to the left. So back is to the left right here. There's my butt in the air. And the next frame, my stomach is to the air. So I essentially just swapped bodies pointing the other way. So just a small example of how you can stitch 2 things together to completely change direction in your videography. Now the next thing I noticed here, for an example, Jeff and I did 2 very similar tricks. Actually, they are the exact same tricks, half cab, no slide. So the other thing you can do with these is you don't have to blend them together. Essentially with the other timeline, you can now have almost like a picture-in-picture effect if you want, and you can start doing side-by-side stuff. Now when you're editing with professional, Windows and Mac editing, Adobe Premiere and all this like really good editors, you have multi-track timelines. Like we get 2 in Splice now, which is amazing, but all these other ones have had, and there you see the back-to-back or the picture-in-picture. You do want to make sure that you don't have the overlays bleed into the next track, because it'll just look like it's cut off, kind of weird. But yeah, like I was saying, the full-blown editor suites have unlimited timelines. So eventually Splice will add more timelines. They're calling it just overlays, but essentially it's just track 2. So you have track 1 is your main one, track 2 is your next one. So that was a little bit with the masks and the overlays. And just getting back to pure about the masks, essentially you get these different shapes. And here I'm giving this little James Bond effect to this switch 50-50 grind on this tiny little edge. It's a tiny ledge because I'm 36 years old and it's hard for me to get my fat butt in the air these days, and I'm not the kid I once was. So cool different shapes. What I'm going to do here is take this ledge, kind of gradient away a bit from it, and I'm going to put something there. You could put like water, you can imagine you're just kind of cutting out and cropping out things from your filming, and you could put in whatever you want. Now I'm not that good at videography and whatnot, but I have noticed that the best thing for you to do when you're stitching these things for your creative TikToks or your creative YouTube videos or whatever you want is usually having two separate completely different scenes, like maybe one the sky and one the main thing. So you notice there you can change the shape on the fly. I did the triangle there and rounded the corners a bit. But yeah, going back to this thing here where I was trying to like almost add, like make it all a rectangle at the same height, at the same slope as the ledge. And I was hoping to put something underneath it, like a water or something that makes it look like you're in the water. In this case, I didn't have anything that was too cool like that, like water. So I figured I would just grab from the very back of it, the video. I have just some footage of the sky. So before I put in the footage of the sky, I'm gonna kind of show you another way of, like, let's say for example you wanted to stitch something here and you want to make it look like you're landing in water. So what you would do is you would film someone jumping into a pool and cannonballing, and then you would kind of just stitch that over. I know it's kind of hard to imagine that actually looking real, but you get the general idea. You have the source of where the footage was started and the destination, and if you make it seem very real and very fluid, you can really trick people into having some clever scenes. So in this case, what I did with this overlay, because I had some good sky footage here, is I just took this and did a mask on it. Once it was added to the overlay, I realized that, okay, it's the wrong way. So you can like pinch to zoom and flip these things around, right? So I'll just leave that there. It's not the most appropriate thing to put underneath there, but it still looks kind of nifty, cool, and neat. So now in this scene coming up, you get this little like, hey, check out the skate park. You put one above it on the same slope. And so how do I deal with this next scene? So just like the main track, you can split. That's a new menu where you can just like tap on stuff and split it. You don't have to actually use the menu at the very bottom. And now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it, rotate it the other way, and essentially have me landing in the snow or something like that. And you can blend it a bit. You don't want to blend it too much. It makes it look like you're a ghost. But yeah, so just like, nothing really good in this video of like, oh my gosh, that was so cool that I made this on the fly. But just to give you a high level explanation, understanding of these two new features to allow you to do some pretty cool stuff in your videos. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you liked that. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you have any other cool ideas for how-to videos, please let me know in the comments below, and take care.